Hi my lovely YouTubers, it's me Morgan Tracy J today with a video about my 1 year anniversary of celibacy. Guys, I've been celibate for 1 entire year and I will say that I just can't even believe it. It is still crazy that I even decided to do this, and then just to make it to a year mark, it feels so good inside. And honestly, it was the best decision I could have ever made for myself. Celibacy is not something to play with. Celibacy is something that truly, something inside of you tells you it's just time to stop. Also, I'm very into my faith, and so I felt like over time when I was having sex, it was draining the life out of my ministry. It was draining the life out of my relationship with God. I felt like I didn't have the connection with God. I felt too much conviction and guilt, and sex really was the root of my issues at that time because I kept falling short to it. That was the big hurdle that I could not overcome. It was like that mountain that would not move. Sex was that thing for me, and for the longest I would pray to God, like, I don't want to do this, but I do, and I felt my body that wants to do it. Like, it was a mix of emotions, but eventually what came down was I was fed up. I was fed up with giving my body to men and then coming back even more empty. I was fed up with waking up and still not being his wife. I was fed up with thinking this is going to be something that's going to last a lifetime, and then it doesn't. I was fed up because I kept giving myself this idea that, well, I'm going to marry him anyway, so it's okay. But then you end up that you don't even marry the person, and then you're like standing there like, well, I gave you my entire body, and we didn't even equal out to anything, you know? So what I'm saying is I did it wrong so long that eventually I got fed up with it. I got fed up with coming back more empty. I got fed up with being broken. I got fed up with feeling unworthy. I got so fed up that I eventually said, I'm done, God. I'll do it your way. I've done it wrong so many times and I've got the same outcome. So let me try to do it right and let's see how this goes. And I'm here to say that it is a year later in my celibacy walk, and it is the best decision I've ever made. I have overcame so many things within this time. I have gotten such a more intimate relationship with God. The mountain that moved that was in my life, it got moved by faith. It got moved by when I repented and I turned away from that. Now, did I do it perfect every second? No. There were moments, and I tell you guys, I had to cling to Jesus, literally. There were moments where I could have dropped my celibacy. There were moments where I felt like, is this really worth it? Like there was all those doubts. But what I do know is God has given us strength in our time. And celibacy is a time when I have become strengthened. So when I do come across temptation, when I do come across that, I already have it engraved in me that even if that person isn't operating like I am, I know all I can do is know what Morgan is here to do. And Morgan is not here to operate that way anymore because she's done it 1,000,001 times. She doesn't want to go backwards. She only wants to move forward. And the thing is when you have lost your peace, when you have operated in sin for so long, and when you get your peace, and when you get that confirmation and that fulfillment and that wholeness in God, you don't want to do anything to lose it. And that's the big thing, is I've had operated without it for years. I operated without peace. I operated through that strong conviction and not having peace and just being broken and insecure and shattered. And when I got that back, after not having it for so long, I will not do anything to give that back, to get that messed up. I won't do it because I know who I am now. I know who I am in God. I know how worthy I am through the eyes of God. And so that being said, I don't believe that celibacy is this big hard thing that no one can do and it's just unbelievable that people do. I think celibacy is what God has already put on the requirement of his people in the first place. I feel like celibacy is something that we should all operate in, just because sometimes we don't believe it enough that we can truly do it. And when I truly believed it and walked in faith and knew that I could possibly do this with Jesus Christ, then that's when I started to walk more bold in my celibacy. That's when I started to know who I was in God. That's when I started to know that no matter what man that comes my way, he will not shake this foundation anymore. I will no longer give up my salvation for a man or for sex or to do these sexual deeds. No, I'm not doing it anymore. I'm done with that. I'm no longer becoming in the being absent with God because of the sinful acts that I continue to fall to. I'm not doing it anymore. I've overcame that mountain. And so that's what I'm making this video, so help you overcome your mountain, whatever that is. And celibacy was and sex was my mountain. It was huge. It was big. It hurdled me. I felt like I couldn't minister to people. I felt like I couldn't fully step into what God was telling me to step into because of that sex, because of that sin. And when I overcame that mountain, man, I'm trying to tell you, doors opened up, blessings came. So understand, if God is calling you to a life of celibacy, it's going to be beautiful. He'll fill up those voids with himself. He'll fix those broken pieces. He'll fill you with your calling and your joy and the right surroundings. So I hope you understand the significance of celibacy. It's really like giving your body to God as a living sacrifice, as we're supposed to already. But celibacy is literally saying, I am yours. Here's the temple of the Lord. Here it is. Use me the way you want me to be used. I won't allow anything to come within me anymore to contaminate me. I won't allow that anymore. And so what I did is I went out and I bought a ring with a cross when I first started my celibacy to symbolize myself in celibacy, but not only to symbolize that, to symbolize my body to God. That when I wear this, I wear it with pride because I know that it is a decision that I had to make because I had to overcome a mountain in my life. There was a huge mountain, and by my faith, I was able to get over that mountain. But only it was through only God, only through the purging and the conviction and the leading of God that I was able to even make it to this year. And so understand, celibacy is not for the perfect. Celibacy is not for those people who don't do it. No, celibacy is for everyone. But you have to believe it enough in your heart. You have to believe it enough in yourself. And you have to believe it enough in God. That God, even if you start to fail tomorrow, that God can get you, that God can sustain you. And He can give you the strength to get out of it. He'll open up doors. I don't know how many times I've been in something and I've said, God, please get me out of this. I'm so sorry. I didn't know I was going to get this far. Give me a loophole. Get me out of this, please. And I'm trying to tell you, every time I've got out of it, somehow, some way, there's a door. I don't know. I got out of it. I've had the faith. I have the strength. I've had the boldness. I've had that. So understand, you're going to come across temptation. We're women. We probably are very interested in the opposite sex. It's given. We want that. But God will sustain you. He will give you the strength. You can do all things through Christ that strengthens you. So be strengthened in God, even in your low moments. Be strengthened in God, even in your high moments. And celibacy is that one thing where you need Christ to walk with you, to guide you through this. Because now you're stepping out on faith. You're stepping out on something very different, something unseen. You're stepping out on something that not everybody else is okay with, that they won't completely understand. They'll look at you like you're kind of crazy, or how are you doing that? You're in college, you're young, you're in a relationship, like how are you going to get a man? Like, they ask questions like that. But long story short, if God has called you to it, then it is perfect and it is perfected in this time for you. So I hit my 1-year anniversary and I'm so excited. I just want to share with you the world about celibacy and how amazing it has been for me. So thank you so much for watching. Like, subscribe, comment, Morgan Tracy J.